You're everything I've ever wanted, a dream I've never dared to chase. The thought of being with you fills me with joy and fear at the same time. I know I should admit my feelings, but the fear of rejection holds me back. In my heart, I know you're the one I've been searching for all along, but every time I think about expressing that to you, doubt creeps in. What if you don't feel the same? It's easier to keep my feelings hidden than to risk losing you. You embody everything I desire, yet I find myself standing on the edge of vulnerability. It's terrifying to think of how admitting my feelings could change everything. The fear of ruining what we have is paralyzing. You are the missing piece of my puzzle, the answer to my unspoken prayers. Still, I find it hard to voice my emotions, fearing that the truth might shatter the fragile connection we share. Every time we talk, my heart races, and my mind races even faster with thoughts of what could be. You're everything I want, yet I hesitate to say it out loud, afraid of what it might mean for our friendship. I keep replaying our moments together in my head, wishing I could summon the courage to tell you how I feel. You're everything I've ever wanted, but the fear of rejection silences me every time. Your laughter is the melody I've always yearned for, and your smile lights up my darkest days. But every time I think of admitting my feelings, my heart races with anxiety, and I pull back into my shell. You have this incredible way of making me feel alive, yet I can't bring myself to admit that you're everything I've ever wanted. The fear of losing the little we have keeps me from stepping into the light. I often find myself lost in thoughts of us, imagining what it would be like if I could just confess my feelings. You're the person I dream about, yet my fear of vulnerability keeps me in silence. You're my ultimate desire, yet I hesitate to speak those words. The thought of exposing my heart to you terrifies me. What if you don't feel the same? What if it changes everything we have? With every shared moment, my heart whispers that you're the one, but fear silences that voice. I wish I could be brave enough to admit that you're everything I've ever wanted, but the fear of rejection keeps me quiet. You are the embodiment of my dreams, the person I've longed for in my life. Yet, the thought of admitting it terrifies me. What if I ruin what we have? The fear holds me captive in my silence. Every time I look at you, I see everything I've ever wanted, but my heart quakes with the fear of being honest. It's hard to admit those feelings when the risk of vulnerability feels so great. You make my heart flutter and my thoughts scatter, yet I hold back. I'm afraid that if I admit how much you mean to me, everything will change. The fear of losing what we have keeps me from sharing my truth. The more I get to know you, the more I realize that you're everything I've ever wanted. But my fear of being vulnerable, of opening up, makes me hesitate. What if my feelings aren't reciprocated? In a world full of uncertainty, you're my constant, my safe haven. But I'm afraid to admit that you're everything I have ever wanted. The fear of stepping into the unknown is daunting, and it paralyzes me. You've ignited a spark in me that I never knew existed, yet I keep my feelings locked away. You're everything I want, but the thought of admitting it makes me feel so vulnerable. It's terrifying. Every glance, every laugh shared only deepens my affection for you. Yet, I hold back from admitting that you're everything I've ever wanted, fearing that the truth might jeopardize our bond. You're the person who occupies my thoughts and dreams, yet I can't muster the courage to reveal my feelings. The fear of rejection looms large, and I wonder if I'm destined to keep my heart a secret. You're the one I've always envisioned in my life, yet I hesitate to express how I truly feel. I'm afraid that admitting my feelings might complicate everything, and I can't bear the thought of losing you. You inspire me and make my heart race, but admitting that you're everything I want feels like standing on the edge of a cliff. What if I jump and fall? The fear is overwhelming. Every time I see you, I'm reminded of how perfect you are for me. But I hold back from admitting it, afraid that my feelings might be too much for you to handle. The risk feels too high. You bring light into my life, and I can't help but feel drawn to you. Yet the thought of expressing that you're everything I've ever wanted terrifies me. What if it changes our dynamic forever? You have a special place in my heart that I never knew I had. But my fear of rejection makes it hard to admit that you're everything I want. It's easier to keep my feelings hidden than to face the possibility of heartbreak. In every moment we share, I feel an undeniable connection. Yet I can't bring myself to admit that you're everything I've ever wanted, fearing that vulnerability might ruin what we have. You've become a constant in my thoughts, yet I'm paralyzed by fear. Admitting that you're everything I want feels like walking a tightrope. What if I fall? The thought terrifies me. You're the light in my life, but I can't gather the courage to tell you how I feel. The fear of ruining our friendship keeps me silent, even though deep down I know you're everything I've ever wanted. With each passing day, my feelings for you grow stronger, but the thought of admitting that you're everything I want sends shivers down my spine. What if you don't feel the same? You've touched my heart in ways I can't explain, yet I find it hard to confess that you're everything I've ever wanted. The fear of vulnerability holds me back, keeping my heart hidden away. Your presence brings me joy, yet I hesitate to express how much you mean to me. You're everything I've ever wanted, but the fear of being vulnerable keeps my lips sealed. Every moment we share makes my heart race, yet the fear of rejection paralyzes me. I want to tell you that you're everything I've ever wanted, but the thought terrifies me. You are my greatest desire, yet I can't bring myself to admit it. The fear of losing you, if I'm honest, keeps me trapped in silence, even though my heart longs to be free. Your laughter is my favorite sound, yet I struggle to express how much I care. I want to admit that you're everything I've ever wanted, but the fear of vulnerability holds me back. You have this incredible ability to make me feel alive, yet I hesitate to share my true feelings. I'm afraid that admitting you're everything I've ever wanted might ruin what we have. You're my heart's secret, the one I've always dreamed of. But the thought of revealing my feelings makes me freeze in fear. What if it changes everything? Each day spent with you only deepens my affection, but I hold back from admitting it. The fear of vulnerability looms large, preventing me from expressing that you're everything I've ever wanted. You're the one who makes my heart race and my soul sing. Yet, the fear of rejection keeps me from confessing that you're everything I've ever wanted. It's a battle I fight daily. You've become my safe haven, yet I find it hard to express my feelings. The fear of ruining what we have keeps me from admitting that you're everything I've ever wanted. You're the light in my darkness, the one who brings me hope, but I'm terrified to admit that you're everything I want, fearing it might change our beautiful connection. With every shared moment, I feel my feelings deepening. Yet, I hesitate to admit that you're everything I've ever wanted, afraid that vulnerability might ruin our bond. You're the answer to my unspoken prayers, but I am afraid to voice my feelings. What if admitting that you're everything I want puts a strain on our relationship? You're the dream I've always held close to my heart, yet I fear admitting that to you. The possibility of rejection weighs heavily on me, silencing my heart's desires. You have a way of making everything feel right, yet I hesitate to express how I feel. The fear of losing our friendship holds me back from admitting that you're everything I've ever wanted. You make my heart flutter with just a smile, yet the thought of confessing my feelings sends waves of anxiety through me. What if it changes everything? The risk feels too great.